Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy Ben and JV from JBM Sports Media coming to you guys with another MLB team. Yes, this time we're going to be doing my Milwaukee Brewers 2026 season projection video. As you guys saw in the video yesterday, we did the New York Yankees. Today we're going to do the Brewers, and it's going to be a pretty cool video because obviously this is my team and want to hear JV's opinion on it as always. Let's get straight into it right here. And we're going to start off talking about the lineup. And yes, we have Jackson Chourio leading it off with Bryce Terang, William Contreras, Christian Yelich, Andrew Vaughn, Sal Frelick, Garrett Mitchell, Joey Ortiz, and David Hamilton, which that's you could basically scratch that one off and put Rengifo on there because this was before Rengifo actually signed with the Brewers. So just have that in mind for everybody watching. But regardless, JV, I'll throw it to you immediately. What do you think about when you see this Brewers lineup for 2026?
Listen, I love that 1 through 6, to be honest with you. I think it's such a solid first six. And then obviously you're hoping a lot from Garrett Mitchell. Can he stay healthy? Joey Ortiz, obviously, can he give you better numbers than he did last year and play some solid defense? And obviously you said Rengifo rounding out the ninth spot as opposed to David Hamilton. Do you think Hamilton will come off the bench as like a piece for them? Or is it okay? Yeah. So that's a nice depth piece. There's nothing wrong with having some extra depth. But listen, this is a really solid lineup. And I was just looking at Baseball Prospectus, and they have the Brewers winning 83 games. I don't think that's even close. And I think that's crazy. I think this lineup is way better than an 83-win season. Listen, I know they lost Peralta in their rotation, but I really think that this lineup is really going to score a lot of runs and really help that staff, ease into, doing what they have to do. I think the Brewers are going to put up a lot of runs more than what some people are expecting right now out of them.
Yeah, and talking about the lineup, I think a big part of it is just when it comes to the health of this team, can Jackson Chourio give us a fully healthy season? Obviously, I think if that's the case, he could damn near be top 10 in MVP NL conversations. And Bryce Terang had a great year last year. Questionably should have been an all-star in my opinion. I think he could possibly deliver that this year. William Contreras bouncing back from the finger surgery he had in the offseason. I think we're going to see his production go up. Yelich, coming off of back surgery, actually had a pretty good year. He had 29 home runs. He had a pretty good year coming off of back surgery. And Andrew Vaughn completely revitalized his career in Milwaukee, batting up to 300, I believe it was, in his time as a Brewer. And Sal Frelick, you know what you're going to get with this guy. You're going to get a lot of contact and great defense. Garrett Mitchell, when it goes down to 7, 8, and 9, Rengifo obviously more established, so we could just put it like that. But when it comes down to Ortiz and Garrett Mitchell, I think for Ortiz, it's going to be specifically the offense. What offense can he provide? If not, I do see him no disrespect to him, but I do see him possibly getting replaced at some point for a guy like Jet Williams, who has been doing pretty good in spring so far. So if Joey Ortiz doesn't pick up the load offensively quicker than not, I could see him getting replaced. I really could. And Garrett Mitchell, it's really just going to come down to his health. If he's healthy, this guy, I do believe, could still produce at a major league level. I just am very scared. I'm very scared when it comes to his health. That's what I do have to say about more so Garrett Mitchell and Ortiz.
Yeah, and I had Garrett Mitchell as one of my big comeback stories for 2026. I said if he could just stay healthy, I think he'll be a real asset to this Milwaukee Brewer lineup. And obviously, I think it's going to be detrimental that if they have 3 or 4 injuries, this lineup may actually be suffering. But this lineup as a whole, the way it is, built the way it is, and if everybody stays healthy, like you said, a full season at Chourio, if Yelich could stay healthy with, obviously came off of back surgery a year ago, putting up almost 30 home runs, I think they'll be just fine. Honestly, I think Andrew Vaughn has fitted nicely with that organization as well. He's found the comfortability to his game, being in Milwaukee, and I think he's going to be a mainstay there. And like you said about Frelick, he's just phenomenal up and down, contact hitter, has speed, plays great defense. And like we said, it's just basically that bottom of that lineup that has to come through and really help these guys 1 through 6, because what you get from them when they're healthy. So 7, 8, and 9 obviously is going to be the question marks, but I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be a matter of, Andrew Vaughn, a full season in Milwaukee. How can he produce throughout the whole year? I actually don't mind. I feel like there will be a lot of still Andrew Vaughn doubters in a way because he hasn't really been able to do it in a full season at the major league, but he did it in his whole first stint in Milwaukee. So now in his second year here, but a full season here, I think he'll be able to do it, and I think he'll be able to do it pretty well. A guy like Christian Yelich, obviously, I'm always going to have my eyes on because second year post-back surgery, How can he just, navigate his way through it? He struggled in the postseason a lot. So I really do think he might have obviously a little bit more time since the back surgery. So will he feel more comfortable? I think that could be a factor as well. And like I said, William Contreras, who was dealing with the finger injury and he finally got the surgery for that, how will he hit now compared to how he hit last year? That's another thing I'm going to look at. So basically, those two guys, Yelich post back surgery, 2 years now, and then Contreras post finger surgery. I'm going to look at how those two will perform in this lineup consistently.
How long do you think Joey Ortiz's leash is before he gets the axe in terms of maybe getting dealt or taken out of the lineup and Jet Williams is replacing him? Do you see a long term or a short term window?
Maybe honestly, maybe up to June-ish. I think that'd be the
Okay.
best way to put it because Jet Williams, I think he's just the way that I see him, I think he could give you great things defensively. Same thing with the guy like Cooper Pratt in our system. Whichever one of those two guys jump off to an early start in obviously the minor leagues, I think will make their case to be the starting shortstop for the Brewers. Obviously, until Jesus Mate comes up, but that's still going to be a little bit of time away.
Right.
But still,
Right.
something to look at. Obviously, Rengifo being in this lineup, I think brings good veteran experience as well. That's something it's always needed in a team. I really did like that signing. But that's enough talking about the lineup. Obviously, we both feel pretty decent about it. Now let's talk about the rotation. And at this current moment, MLB.com has it listed with Brandon Woodruff as our ace, Quinn Priester at the 2, Jacob Mizorowski at the 3, Chad Patrick at the 4, and Kyle Harrison at the 5. But I'll show you guys this real quick just to get the difference. Fangraphs actually has it listed with Woodruff and then Mizorowski at the 2, Priester at the 3, Patrick at the 4, but Logan Henderson at the 5 instead of Kyle Harrison, which honestly, I kind of like that better. I like Logan Henderson. I feel like I trust him a little bit more than Kyle Harrison, but I still wouldn't mind if we do have Kyle Harrison at the 5. I would prefer Logan Henderson. So that's why I will keep this one up instead of the other one. Though it will be interesting how Kyle Harrison does impact himself in this rotation.
Are you okay with not having a lefty at all in the rotation now that you have this switch here with Logan Henderson in the 5 as opposed to Harrison?
You know what? It's super interesting because I thought about that. I really did. I thought looking at, pure righties in this rotation, could that be something that, come to our, I don't know, I guess something that just doesn't give us that translation of, all right, it's just, what you're getting, pure righties, pure righties, pure righties. If we get at least one lefty in there, then cool.
Just to break it up. Yeah.
It'll be like a Quintana last year, or even for the 2 starts that we had Nestor, like, all right, just give it a little bit of, something to switch off on. I think I would be okay with it because I think Logan Henderson is more of a talented pitcher than Kyle Harrison. But if they do go with Kyle Harrison in this rotation, like I said, I wouldn't oppose to it. I think it would be rather interesting to see how they play that out.
Yeah, listen, I think if the major point to me is obviously how many starts is Brandon Woodruff going to give you in 2026? If he can give you 25 plus, it's an absolute win, and that'll be great. And I think that'll put the Brewers in a really good spot. Obviously, Jacob Mizorowski in his second full season, Quinn Priester, what a steal by this organization. My goodness, I'm sure the Red Sox are kicking themselves for getting rid of this guy. Chad Patrick and Logan Henderson and maybe Kyle Harrison. I'm noticing Harrison's not even listed in the pen. So with this graph here. But let me tell you something. This Milwaukee bullpen is a huge strength. When you want to talk about their pitching, I really love their bullpen. I think Abner Uribe is going to be one of the better closers in all of baseball. I really think he's going to be up there. And to have Trevor McGill and Jared Koenig, I love that. I like Aaron Ashby a lot too. Angel Zerpa is a nice addition as well. I like this bullpen a lot. I think you're going to get a lot of quality performances out of like 7 or 8 of these guys. Honestly, it's nice to see that they have a really stacked pen. I really do think you're going to see a lot of positivity coming out of this bullpen this year.
Yeah, and more so, I guess we could switch to the other graphic just to get a little bit of, I guess, the intel if Kyle Harrison does, in fact, make the rotation over Logan Henderson. But to me, I think this is a rotation that will give you depth. Even if you do have a guy like Logan Henderson, maybe if they go with 6 starting pitchers, that could be something I'd be very interested in.
They could do that,
yeah. To me, Kyle Harrison currently gives you the role of like what Jose Quintana gave the Brewers last year. Very solid regular season. And I feel like he could be a Quinn Priester type of addition because the Brewers traded Caleb Durbin for him. They obviously see something that they like in a guy like Kyle Harrison and something they feel like they could tweak and possibly fix where,
Right.
Kyle Harrison, a very highly touted prospects for the Giants at one point, now comes to the Brewers organization. Could he get that revamp in his career like a way that Quinn Priester did? I do believe so. I'm very interested to see how Chad Patrick does this year in his sophomore year. I think he has some great stuff. I think his cutter is such a nasty pitch. I would actually be very interested to see I don't know, maybe more so which one of him and Mizorowski has a better year too. I think that'd be super, super dope, the competition between those two in this rotation. So that's something I'm going to be super excited and have my eyes on.
Yeah, and like I said, I think obviously the biggest thing is if you can get 25 plus starts at a Woodruff, I think this rotation is going to do absolutely just fine, and I think they'll lead them to another NL Central title. Me and you had them, winning the division. So I think this. I think everybody's a little nervous, and I think all these professionals say that they're going to win 83 games is absolutely absurd to me. I just don't see that happening.
Well, it happens every year. I'm not surprised about it at this point.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the
it's
same
true.
story. So it's just another year of the same old, I guess, basic knowledge of people that technically don't watch what a team like this and the philosophy of a team like this does in a regular season. And that's fine. It's whatever at this point. But yes, a strength is the bullpen, and I feel so confident. Would I be okay with dealing McGill still before the season starts? I think I would, just because it's like we have a lot of depth, and at some point you're going to have to give guys like Craig Yoho a chance and come out here and pitch. Like, we still have a lot of bullpen depth that I feel super comfortable with. So if you could trade McGill and maybe get another utility bat or maybe another back end rotation piece, cool. The more pitching depth, the merrier, I think. But if McGill does stay here, I think that's one of the nastiest 1-2 setup in ninth inning guys in all of baseball. McGill and Uribe. And then you got my guy Jared, Ashby, Zerpa, who I think is going to have – even they were thinking about having Zerpa open some games for the Brewers like Aaron Ashby did. So that'd be pretty interesting to see how that plays out. Grant Anderson, who has a nasty sweeper. Haven't been a big fan of him last year, but could change my mind. Rob Z. I'm actually a big fan of Rob Z. And Dio Hall, who we got in the Corbin Burns trade. I think he could be very good in this bullpen, and his velo has gone up, so that's always a good thing to see. But yes, it's the time that everybody's been waiting for us to do our Brewers over or under. JV alluded to this, but actually we're going to go, I'll pull it up right here. There you go. Our Milwaukee Brewers regular season total and the number on FanDuel, like I said before, FanDuel, if you guys want to sponsor us here at JBM Sports Media, would greatly appreciate that. But it's 84.5 over, under, and actually it's favored to go under via FanDuel. So I mean, I'm obviously going to go with I'll let you. Actually, matter of fact, you'll go first, JV. Go ahead.
I have them going 93 and 69. I don't see them matching last year. 97 wins obviously was a phenomenal season, but I still think 93 and 69 is a phenomenal season, and it probably wins them the Central, like we said. I think 93 wins is enough to win the Central, and I think they're going to do it. I think this team is good enough, and if they stay healthy, they'll be right up there again with another fantastic season. There's nothing to sneeze about when you win 93 games. You're going to be a top 5 to 6 team, not just in the NL, but in the entire league. So I personally think they win 93 games. I think 84.5 is a complete travesty, and I think it's a disgrace. Honestly, this team, to me, just plays way better baseball than winning 84.5 games. I think the only way they win 84 games is if they experience a ton of injuries. God forbid. You know what I mean? I don't see this team being the way it's constructed right now, healthy, winning 85 games. So I'm going 93 and 69 for the 2026 Brewers.
Yeah, I'm going to take a huge over on this. I'm actually going to be putting a little bit of bread on this as well, because I think this could be an easy way to make bread. Obviously, I think I'll have this as an absolute lock to go over. How many wins exactly do I think the Brewers are going to win this year? Obviously, no Freddie. I got to take that into consideration. I would say 91 or 92 wins. More so lean at 92. I'm going 92. I think they're going to statistically perform the same as they did last year, because that run that they went on, they had 2 double-digit winning streaks. So I don't think that's going to happen again. But I will say I will still feel very confident about this offense and how it's going to produce as long as Pat Murphy's at the helm. And good thing we got him to an extension, because, look, that guy, he knows how to manage his ball club. And I think he's going to do another great round for this ball club this year. And hopefully we go back to back on division titles. And it'll bring us a lot of momentum heading into the postseason. But I'm going to go 92 win for the Brewers this year and easily going on the over total. I'm super excited to watch this team this year. I've been watching a little bit of glimpses from them in spring training so far, just trying to see some of the young prospects that could potentially make it to the major leagues this year. So that's been fun. But obviously, we want to get your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Let us know what you guys think about the Brewers this year. 84.5 over under. Let us know. But make sure you guys subscribe here on YouTube at JBM Sports Media. Follow us on TikTok and IG at JBM Sports Media. Till next time, we'll see you guys later. Peace.